Uganda. Whoever is found having sexual intercourse or having carnal knowledge with that girl who be of defilement is there are some we have challenges with some that allow girls to be married off at the age of from 14. Actually, the most so long as someone has started menstruation at the age of 14, and then in the African tradition, they believe from 14 and 16, so long as the lady has breast, she's menstruation, she's ably ready for marriage. But in law, however, we respect those institutions. In law, we say their laws are repugnant, meaning that they are inconsistent with the supreme law of the land. The supreme law of the land is the Constitution. When you read Article 31, Clause 1, it clearly states the age at which one can contract marriage. The law talks about 18 years of age as the age to contract a valid marriage. Tumanyisa kyao. In case you marry a girl, however, that you have her consent, aikirize mwana wa miaka aliasi miaka 18, that one will not be a defense. Obundi ekijja kuyisa omusango ogwa defilement, okubyama obundi okukozesa omwana atakayikirire emyaka okusikira amateeka ga Uganda. So if you are out there, you're in the village, you are aware, or you have a relative, okumanya nti ngu basweza omwana emyaka eri hansi 18, it's a crime and we condone it. If you are brought into the books of the law, you will be punished. And the penalty for defilement, you are liable to suffer death. If you are convicted, if the prosecution lays out the evidence pinpointing the accused to have committed a crime of defilement, then this accused, or whom we call suspect, because by the common laws in Uganda and East Africa and all the countries that were governed by UK, we have a presumption which says a person is innocent until proven guilty. It's even in the Constitution. So, when you are suspect, when you are still an accused, there's still a presumption of innocence. Until the court finds you guilty, then you are convicted and committed at prison to serve your sentence. And sometimes we always believe the purpose of detaining you in a safer government facility is to restrain the act from being repeated by other people. Take, for example, if I'm charged with a case of defilement and I'm convicted, when I'm serving my sentence in a government custody, I'm just sending a signal out there that whoever will do a search Yes. So as I was explaining to you, the difference between now rape and defilement is because with defilement we don't consider consent. The consent of the victim is never admissible in court. 2, in defilement, the difference between defilement and rape is age. In defilement, in rape, age is paramount. It's not an issue because we believe you are forcing somebody who is of age. But because the key ingredient is carnal knowledge, lack of consent. So in defilement, there's no consent. Even if you found a girl and she agreed, but as long as she's underage, that cannot deter you from being convicted. So age in defilement is very key. Age of a victim. We also look at the sexual intercourse. Now, sexual intercourse, or in law what we call the carnal knowledge, the unlawful carnal knowledge, is having a penetration of a male organ into a female organ. So, when you're in court, one, the prosecution has to prove that the girl was underage. 2, that there was carnal knowledge, unlawful carnal knowledge, meaning that there was a penetration, however slight it could be. You could be saying, the law says, however slight the penetration is, that will be enough evidence, or what we call sufficient evidence, to prove that the offense of defilement subsists. Then we also have the accused is the culprit. The third ingredient in defilement is when the victim can place the accused at the crime of sin. Omwana nagamba wewe, even if they parade 10 of you, nagamba it is X who defiled me. So, when you're in court, once the victim identifies the culprit or the accused and says it is X who did that, and can be ready to identify the dead person without doubt, then that person who is accused will be convicted. Prosecution will have proved his case. Then one may ask himself, can the law allow the evidence of a child? Because remember, in the defilement, most of the victims are of tender age. When we talk about tender age, we look at 14 and below. Those are victims of tender age. Now, the law has a mechanism of getting evidence. Because remember, the burden in defilement is high, because the prosecution has to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. In other words, if the court is going to convict you and put you in prison, you must have done the act. There must have been sufficient evidence to put you on the crime of sin, and there should be no stone left unturned. So, when we look at the child, as I've said, these cases are always involving children. The court has what we call the voir dire. A voir dire is a process where a court identifies where the victim or the witness, it could be even a witness who is also a child, understands the burden of telling the truth. Court must secure itself that this witness or this victim knows responsibility of telling lies. And also that this person understands what he's talking about. So the evidence of a child after the court conducts what they call a via dia, which I've just explained. In criminal cases, mostly the law has taken it that there should be corroboration of evidence. The three ingredients I've talked about: sexual intercourse, victim's age below 18 years, the accused is the culprit or participated in a crime. Then we have another most powerful and important ingredient called corroboration. Now, aloka kuhabuza, what is corroboration? In law, we have what we call corroboration as a systematic flow of evidence. If A says, take for example, the child has said in her testimony, in a miaka 14 tuham, then ne witness agawukaho ainagamba omwana nga emyaka engaha 14 obundi nobalagamba ekikuwawukanawo emyaka ebetaguluka emyaka 18 nagarukaho bamwina yondi naye abe nabaza the story ni yemu. That's what we call corroboration. So when the witness or the victim is a child, court will desire the evidence be corroborated. How do we corroborate evidence? Number one, the medical report. Remember the medical form which is gotten from police. And by the way, this is a caution to everyone who is listening. No any other person is supposed to conduct a medical report except a government physician in a government hospital. Abantu abandi musisa emisango yanyu nosanga ngogezege omwana bagenda yakunanga yagenda nearby clinic. The law recognizes only government facility. Mwana mutwale Masini hospital, gena akichala gena police, bakwe police form, bakwe no musirikale, akwe escorting ayi uno mwana wawe, muloleli medical lab technician or physician, akebero mwana ajuse form egg. Bamara gijuza a form egg gauke a police station for further management. Tulihama bali ahero because cases are killed or die on the verge of medical findings. Rosanga omuntu agezege mu clinic temanyire mu government, is not a government facility. So that you may easily spoil your case. Then number two, inyamazeli abali ahero. When your person is being defiled, as a key important thing that you must follow. Number one, mbagambire erwalo lyo kumutwala inakwali government kaya nakuba musikala ku escorting. Number two, engoye z'omwana ono mudifilingiremu mutazogya. Don't wash the clothes in which the victim has been defiled. If the clothes are still with blood stains, kindly leave them as they are. Let the police take those clothes as evidence. Don't wash the clothes. In fact, it's better kutwala omwana gonna kyali fresh na kaina na semen zola achikoze again kyali mu ne bintu kyali fresh, so that the doctor can easily elaborate on the report what he or she found out from the victim. Then ekintu ekindi kimba nimbasaba omuntu ogwo mumutwale awo naawo apoliisi na poliisi ekole ki emutwale mu irwaro. We have issues whereby you give the defense a higher chance of winning cases, where you kusanga omuntu after 1 month, after 3 weeks, niwagenda ku reporting a case ya defilement, niwagenda ku reporting a case of rape. All Uganda, I don't say that you will lose your case, but chances are the defense may pinpoint your evidence. And when they pinpoint your evidence, because remember the burden of always proving is on a prosecution. Me, if me as a defense counsel, because me I love the defense, I will have to dig through your evidence to see whether I can lift the burden from my client. Because my client will always tell me is innocent, is not guilty. So me, it's my responsibility to dig through your evidence as prosecution. And corroborating your evidence does not suffice for the crime charged or indicted on my client. Even to be heavy, they are very key and important. That's why some people lose their cases. Then another fourth technicality I can tell you, when the child is defiled, or when you have a relative who has been defiled, avoid settlement. Because you settling out a criminal case, first of all, there's no liability. I mean, it's a vicarious liability. You don't have to settle it out of court unless otherwise. When you leave the culprit go free, you're giving birth to more culprit. No. For example, there's a sort I know in Uganda whereby defilement cases are settled by custom, elders, chiefdoms, elders of the clan. You bring goats, you bring this, and appease a god. It's because you have done a taboo. And the case dies from there. Natural death. Omwana omusisire tajagenda asomero baga omutunuza mbuga nga akyali muto. Nosanga omwana ogwo ngeye omusisire n'atamwa n'obufumbo. Obuno omusisa ninena ne rugamu. That means the child will never give birth. Obuno omwana byamye nawe, he has contracted HIV and other STDs like syphilis, gonorrhea, AIDS, and there's another one called disease fistula. We have seen some cases. There's some other case we are following up in Kiriandongo. A girl was alleged to have contracted fistula. So that's why I appeal to the community. If you want to eat or settle cases, make sure first the health of the child has been proved to be okay. Though I'm telling this is illegal, but first be mindful of the health of the victim. Both the victim and the accused must be tested for HIV status. So that after there, what do we do? So that there's a chance, they say medically there's a chance omuntu when having a sexual intercourse with somebody who is positive, basamwe ebijuma ebikukolaki ebikutangira obulabe buli kumukwata, but they always tell you within some few hours. I don't know how medically true is it, but that's the common saying. So in other words, if omwana wawe amala mudifiling, muyanguye mutwale mu irwaro so that you can mitigate the dangers in her life. Omwana ono mani mazanya abazaire abakusatulinga issues kubanda mbagambye omwana ono maze finding out the health bamukebera ali kurungi nti yes. 2, can she be able to give birth again in the future? What about Amusisiri? Amuyamianenda, I suppose paying for his crime. Because that child would have given a generation in your family now, a generation is being destroyed. That child will blame you forever. And then Kita another point I want to air out to you. Before you think of settlement, think of the education future of this girl. Because these are the things we always overlook in the greed. By the time Buzi, they bring goats, they bring cows, they bring 5 million, 17. But the 17 million before the child even attains P7, the child is already, the money is already nowhere. If, for example, the child was in S2, the money to take her to university is not there. So, I mean, to be taken into consideration. The defiler has pregnant the child. So, what's the next step of this child? The baby who is innocent. The baby and the mother. So, that's a point of both take home and think about it. So, we have already talked about what is defilement. And we have talked about the ingredients of defilement. I've told you there are 4. We talked about sexual intercourse, that's a canon knowledge. The victim's age, below 18 years. We talked about the accused be placed at the crime scene, participation. And the 4th one, we talked about corroboration of evidence. The evidence must be corroborating. But again, you're killing the case. And you are systematic. If you're a parent of the victim, avoid habits of buying witnesses. Because I want to pin you well. Now go around to and begin coaching them. That's bad. If you find me as a defense lawyer, I will embarrass you in court when I get a clue that you don't know what really happened on that day. And I will be sending a signal to the judge or to the magistrate or judicial officer that you are wasting court's time and you're just cooking something which is not there. So in other words, bring witnesses who are credible. Witnesses who are there. Avoid hearsay. Bangambirege. It's very bad. Because hearsay, Jamabuza, Ogambire kibege kitira kitingu yes. Omuntu akagenda joyira ata banyine nge ajoyege. Buna mugambe ge ayibegede ku mugambe ngweza abega joyire. Mwenyetegereza. Muna mugambirege tamugambirege ngono musajja bamwita bati yena abazaba baragandi. Buna mugamba wewe mageti nango mananga mkwasege mwana nanga they found they arrested so and so who was defiling somebody's daughter. And the story ends there. And then you bring that person, you come and testify. I will ask him, where did the act happen, take place? And this person will not be able to tell where the act took place. And that will be a very good clue for me as a defense counsel to know that you are just cooking your testimony. And you'll be creating a biased mind on the judicial officer. So always bring witnesses who were what we call the eyewitness. Eyewitness is a very good witness. An expert witness, the doctor who did the tests, who did the report on the medical form. If the doctor has died, then the person who was working as assistant or doctor, who knew the handwriting and the signature, to come and be able, at least to elaborate, to explain to court what the other past deceased doctor wrote and his findings. Then again, the king, we want you people, viewers outside there, to know sometimes when the defilement cases and rape are committed, we have what people who are called the aiders or the abettors. You are going to kumanya who is an aider. You go to section 19(1) of the Penal Code Act. An aider or abettor is someone who helps in a completion of a crime. Omuntu ogwo ayambaho oli kwikiriza omukolo gwa omusango. Take for example, someone is defiling a child, atiyo Mr. X n'omukwatira emikono n'amaguru nukwo akola act egyo. So in law there are many precedences whereby even you who helped and did not do it, you are charged equally of what the other person has done. It doesn't only apply to defilement or rape. It also applies even in the theft. You went and robbed the criminal. You be an aider. You went and assisted somebody in committing murder. You are an aider. So, chances are, when the prosecution gives a good evidence, you be charged equally as the person who committed murder. And all of you will be punished the same. So, this is why I appeal to the community and my brothers and sisters outside there. Namunamanya abakazi, ngunankangambirege jange tugende tumujume hamu. Avoid that. You are aiding, and once someone is assaulted, they will take you. Ole mmoja na I've always been in love with this somebody's girl, daughter. But I can't access her because I'm not rich. Gamba, no, let's go, me, I will help her, I will lay her down, and for you do what you have already desired. My dear, when they arrest the other person says, I was with so and so, your defense of I did not participate, but I just helped in knocking her down, they will put you on the same charge sheet. And chances are, they may end up also convicting you of defilement. So, binya aboje mukora manya muli munjuwemu musiki bayitairemu banyosiza mwenge, and they get drunk, and you get that, you take advantage of that, you will be charged equally. Brothers and sisters, avoid being an aider in any criminal act. You have birthday at someone's home, and you invite girls whom you know they are very young, you intoxicate them with liquor, they get drunk, and then you take advantage of them. My dear, you will be an aider. Eh? House parties. You'll be an aider, and you'll be convicted. If you find a prosecutor who is good, who will take you in on the same offense as the person who did defilement, or someone who did the rape, or who committed indecent assault. So avoid. Be vigilant. Your future is not the same as mine. So don't be taken in prison because I'm your friend. No, friendship should be on the positive side, not on the negative side. You understand? So you who are saying, me legend and Mayanja, that will not happen, my dear. When you are suffering in jail, you always remember you are supposed to be an engineer, and now you are serving in the University of Understanding. So avoid that. As I was talking about, I wanted even to add more voice on the difference between rape and defilement. In rape, defilement, as I told you, if you have married this girl officially by the laws of the land, the custom of the land, that and so long as the girl you are marrying is underage, is not a defense. Marriage will not be a defense. Difference number 2. The age of the complainant is relevant. Whereas in rape, the age is not an issue. By the way, last week we told you, a husband cannot rape a wife because contractually, you contracted to give him all what he belongs to you. We always make vows. I'll give you all what I have, and you give me all what you have. In good and in sickness. So contractually, married people cannot rape. But if you marry a girl who is under 18, defilement will get you. I hope we are clear with that. Another difference is consent of the girl is not a defense. I vibe the girl, though she's young, and she accepted. Yes, abana bakuzire, they are sexually active, but be mindful of the age. You could be saying, no, me, I did not know the girl was young because by physical features, she looked as she was 18. That will not be a defense, so long as there's proof by either parents' testimony, and they say our girl is 14. Even if they don't produce a birth certificate, but we take what we call circumstantial evidence. Evidence of people who know the girl, the parents, the guardian, the doctor, the doctor's opinion, and also the judge, the judicial officer, can look at the girl and say, according to what I see, this girl is below age. Is enough opinion to prove that the girl, the victim, has defiled, the accused has defiled the victim. So now, I've already spoken enough on defilement. I don't know whether there are comments and questions. They are not. So as we go to for Easter season, I want to encourage my brothers and sisters. Musibe zipu zammwe. Tie your zips. Avoid peer groups. Like now, I know students, primary, after COVID, abana bakula. So physical features, they changed. So I know a lot of primary and secondary are back home for Easter holidays. Please, nadalai omwana muvubuka. Avoid those girls. They may lie you that they have breasts. They may lie you that they will be there, they love you until the Lake Victoria dries. But when they get you, after defiling her, using her for you, say you had consent, blah, blah, blah. But the long as she's under 18, she will spoil your future. So please avoid them. Be friendly to them, but avoid being in dark corners, because you'll be tempted to do what you didn't plan to do. Remember, when you're in that corner, when maybe you're talking in a girl in a private places, you don't have even condoms. And by the way, this let me say this: if you use the girl of if you had intercourse with a girl who is below 18, even if you use the condom, so long as there's penetration, that will not remove you from the case of defilement. I hope you understand me. You cannot go in the case in the court and say, Muramuzi, me, I was wearing a condom. I used that girl with a condom. There's someone who said, actually, it was a case. One of our senior lawyers called Mr. Kabenge said, was giving us an opinion about a man who tried to give a defense, said, no, it was not me who used the girl, but it was the condom, because there was a difference between the condom and the penis. These are two different objects. You understand? But that one will take you a very good lawyer to bring you out of those, at least of those 3 ingredients or 4. So even if you use a condom, my dear, so long as the girl is under 18 and it is proof of penetration, ogenda. So mwewale, now abasajja bakulu, you older men, there are many girls I see people go with in town because they say they want warm blood. No. Avoid what will really kill your future and your reputation. So as we wind up, keep holy this holy season and look out yourself so I don't become a convict or a criminal offender, an offender or a person who is engulfed in criminal acts. With these good words, may the good Lord bless you. I remain Emmanuel, an advocate, a counsel, working, associating with the Ahugiziwe and company advocates here in Masin Town. May good Lord bless you. I wish you a blessed Easter. God bless you.